Yeah, you also did mention about arbitrary charges and fees. And okay, are you saying that they really do not have a standardized fees for whatever thing it is that they demand from whichever industry they are trying to assess?
Yeah, they have. In fairness, they have. But like I said before, at some point, I go back to SON again. There's what they call sun cap, man cap, as the case may be. Okay, if you're a registered manufacturer, this is the amount you pay. If you're not a registered manufacturer, this is how much you pay. Of course, that arbitrariness also provide bargain. You know, you have to bargain. At some point, you import a whole lot of things, and you say, okay, if I start paying 300,000 naira for each of these items, and some of those items are very homogeneous. That is, they are similar in nature. It can be eyeglass. One has a brand, the other one is red. It's a different product for as far as SON is concerned. You have to pay for them. So all of these provide a situation where it's okay for all the container, everything. How much are you going to pay? So it gives. So we just feel that there should be a better framework through which all of these all of these are tidied up.
Now, you also talked about overlap of functions of these agencies, but I know that NAFDAC is more concerned with food and beverages. SON deals with the other products. So how this interface?
Everything that NAFDAC does, of course, SON has a wider scope. Everything manufactured or whatever in Nigeria or even imported for use, whether it is food, chemicals, anything, in building materials, SON has overriding regulatory function on that. But NAFDAC is now more specialized, should be on what food, not just food, drugs, chemicals, you know, even our cream, everything, the beautification, all of those things. But SON will also tell you whether it is food or drug or NAFDAC, we are in charge of everything. That is the point of what's it called, overlapping regulation. So we're saying that in this subsector of food, drug, chemical, home use goods and cream, all of these cosmetics, subsector of the industrial sector. Yeah. Is it not better that we find a situation where maybe in things such as product registration, laboratory analysis, and some of those services that these two agencies perform and conflict? Is it not enough for maybe NAFDAC perform and SON rely on that, so that when they come for factory inspection, they say, where is NAFDAC certification XYZ? Immediately you provide it, of course, and they should have a way of...
Okay, particularly also on those ones that NAFDAC should,
Exactly. You know. But right now, it doesn't happen. Okay. NAFDAC will finish all their work, collect all the big samples, come every day. When they leave, SON will come and do exactly the same thing. And this registration or certification or lab analysis, they don't come free of charge. It comes with some prices, and that is why we say fees and fine. It comes with a collection of samples. Most of these samples will never get back to you. When a particular, maybe 1 dozen of your carton is taken with a truck. They just need just a small. So we need these agencies to specify the quantity of samples that should go for each of these products. And that is why LCCI is more positioned to talk about it, because it's difficult for any of these companies to face these agencies and talk. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's very, very difficult. It's important they know, so that when the officers, the junior officers that come to collect the sample come and collect 12 cartons of Indomie, the man will say, no, the law says you should collect only 1 pack. Maybe it's going to be hungry man size.
Right. You're talking about infractions. Now, but don't you think that business operators themselves may be doing things that can actually encourage such infractions?
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And I've said it, the business operators are key stakeholders in the process. And beyond the delays, because when you, for instance, you apply for product registration in January, fill all the form, pay all the fees. Up till June, nobody is talking to you. You've been calling, visiting these offices. Again, if you have another product to register, you won't want it to spend 6 months, because before you know what is happening, another person is with the product in the market, and you have lost the commercial opportunities you are chasing. And maybe you may have even incurred some costs, irreversible costs, ab initio. That's a challenge for them. So because of some of these bottlenecks, most of the business operators have resorted to cut cutting corners, even going to an extent of even themselves inducing the agencies of this, the officials of these agencies. In fact, this survey or this study found out that the force or the supply, that is the willingness of some of the business operators to give bribe to these officers or to influence them to do what they shouldn't do is even higher than the willingness of the agencies to demand for something they shouldn't demand for.
And don't you think that those people may have been doing something wrong?
That's exactly what we're saying. But if we have a situation or a framework that made it possible that some of these things we have find out in this survey are put in place, you treat everybody the same way. For example, there is what they call waivers and concession. Waivers and concession is to the discretion of the leadership of these agencies. Of course, everybody wants to pass through the waivers and concession to pay something lower. You bring in what you're supposed to pay 100,000 naira and you're paying something lower. Waivers and, since it is discretionary, we want a situation where it is institutional. Everybody knows what you would have done that will earn you waivers and concession in what. These are some, can I say, arbitrariness or things or situations that provide for business operators to be sharp in their practices. And if this is allowed to continue, of course, importation of wrong quality and quantity of this product will happen. Business operators that are really suffering, trying to produce locally, will not be able to compete with the market. And what happens to unemployment? It will continue to rise. Government will lose their tax revenue, lose revenue even at the point of entry, in form of tariff and duties, as the case may be. So whether it is an attitude perpetrated by the agencies of this, by these agencies, regulatory agencies, or the business themselves trying to induce them, at LCCI we said no to that. Business ethics is our watchword. And that is the reason why, before we embark on this study, we made sure that the agencies are part of it. They know that we are doing this study. The business operators know that we are doing this study. And even when the draft report was out, we also sent copies to them, called them, we have sent it, even when they said they didn't receive it. And they tried to compare notes to see that.
I was going to ask you, how you came about this study, your methodology, the people you spoke with,
We spoke with 1,000 business operators across all the subsectors in the manufacturing sectors. Some are very large, some are medium, and some are small. After we spoke to them individually, we also conducted what I call focus group study. We call all of them together in a small room, and you ask questions, they discuss. In fact, even that focus group study provided a lot of information that on one-on-one you will not get. And again, we carry these agencies along.
In terms of what do you mean carrying the agencies along, did you also try talking to them?
Of course, they were invited to meetings and they attended the meetings. Even with the draft report, we read the draft report line by line, and happily they were happy. Especially the SUN, the group from SUN, they were very happy. So, this study is like a mirror. It's difficult for you to measure yourself, score yourself. It's difficult because you'll be somehow biased, but an independent, unbiased group trying to see us from another perspective is good. And they feel that it is important they move from just an enforcer, the boss, to a customer service-oriented framework. Because the more they serve these customers, the more the customers are the businesses, the more the businesses are able to deal with them in a friendly manner, in a conducive manner, and some of this infraction, of course, it's not something that can be eliminated in a day or overnight, but at least we reduce all of these infractions.
Yeah, I haven't spoken